Dolphins fans, before we get today's video started, be sure to hit that big red button right below me and subscribe to Miami Dolphins today. It is your one-stop shop for everything news and rumors, and the best part about it, it's absolutely free. More subs equals more videos, and we know that you want more Miami Dolphins content. Welcome into Miami Dolphins today. I am your host, RC Maxfield, and, well, Deshaun Watson, anybody? He's back in the news, and the Miami Dolphins are apparently the now front runners to land the franchise quarterback who is in a lot of legal trouble off the field. But we'll get to the social here in just a second in terms of the tweet from Charles Robinson of Yahoo. But Deshaun Watson and the Miami Dolphins are a possible suitor for the franchise quarterback from the Texans. The Texans are wanting 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for Watson, and my goodness, just unbelievable considering all of the stuff that he's dealing with off the field right now. But before we get into Watson any further, I want to know, should the Dolphins trade for Deshaun Watson? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'll give you my answer here in a second, but be sure to hit me down in the comments with your answer. Let's jump into Deshaun Watson and his numbers from 2020 as he was a superstar. I think everybody knows that Deshaun Watson, when he is on the football field, is an absolute star. Look at those numbers that he had in passing in terms of just the completion percentage, almost 5,000 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on a team who had the best wide receiver in terms of Brandon Cooks, right? No disrespect to Brandon Cooks, but that was really his only option last year in terms of proven veteran status, right? He did this on a awful, and I mean awful, Houston Texans team. He had J.J. Watt apologizing to him after a game with how bad they let him down. Now, looking at his rushing stats from 2020, he also does it with his legs. 90 carries, almost 450 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, and he had 31 first downs with his legs, which is a valuable asset to have from a quarterback, right? We know that this is where the NFL is transitioning to those Peyton Manning types, staying in the pocket all day, and, well, Tom Brady's doing a good job of it at 45. But Deshaun Watson and guys like that, this is where the NFL is going, and Deshaun Watson is one of those upper-tier guys when it comes to doing it. Now, Charles Robinson from Yahoo had to say this. Sources tell Yahoo Sports that the Dolphins have emerged as the front runners in trade discussions with the Texans for quarterback Deshaun Watson. The Texans are seeking 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks in negotiations, according to a team that dropped out of the trade talks. I have no idea what the hell's going on right here. Like, I don't know why the Dolphins are in this, but looking at what Deshaun Watson has done strictly from on the field, it makes a ton of sense. But the problem is you already have a guy at the quarterback position that you spent a ton of draft capital in the 5th overall pick in Tua Tagovailoa, right? Why would you waste what you have already? And he's headed in the right direction in terms of Tua Tagovailoa. He's showed out in the preseason. He's done great this offseason in terms of improving his game. And let me get this out there. Tua Tagovailoa is not Deshaun Watson yet. Could he be? Yes. Will he be there one day? Maybe. That's up for debate. But right now, I get it. Strictly on the field, Deshaun Watson is better than Tua. But the assets you would have to give up to get a guy in legal trouble who has an FBI case open right now makes little to no sense if you're the Miami Dolphins trying to compete right now. Why would you put your team in jeopardy when it comes to trading for a franchise quarterback in Deshaun Watson who might not even play this year? He might not play, okay? He might be a healthy scratch was the report that came out earlier in the week. When you have a guy in Tua who I would assume would have to be in this trade, if you were the Houston Texans, you would have to get Tua back. Maybe that changes the draft capital compensation. But why would you do this if you're the Miami Dolphins right now? It makes little to no sense, at least to me right now in the premise of all of this, right? This is the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans going back to that Laramie Tunsil trade, but the Texans are winning it now. That's what this is coming down to. I think everybody remembers the Laramie Tunsil trade if you're a Dolphins fan because you absolutely finessed Bill O'Brien and the Houston Texans. Shout out to the Arizona Cardinals. They did the same thing, right? But this is the Texans trying to make up for Laramie Tunsil, right? And try and get off of a franchise quarterback that has exponentially amount of legal trouble right now going on. Why would you do this if you're the Miami Dolphins and you are trying to compete for the AFC East and build upon that success that you had last season in 2021. It makes no sense to me. But you tell me, would you include Tua in a Watson trade? I think this is a no-brainer, but type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. It makes little to no sense to keep them both, and maybe you get to keep a first-round pick and an additional second if you include Tua, because you're not going to keep Tua as a backup. But this whole trade for Deshaun Watson stuff, I get it. Is Deshaun Watson strictly on the field a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa, and does he give you a better chance to win? No doubt. I don't think anybody would say otherwise. But the problem is he has 20-plus cases open right now in terms of a massage issue that he has in terms with women, and he literally brought them from other states, so now the FBI is involved. It makes no sense to make this trade if you are the Miami Dolphins and you want to win in 2021. Got to shout out today's video sponsor, BetUS. I'm sure they got some odds over there for Deshaun Watson going to the Miami Dolphins. And, well, they got the best deposit bonus in the game right now, too. 125% deposit bonus. All you got to do, go to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code Dolphins125. What is that going to do? Let's say you deposit, I don't know, $100. You get $125 back. You deposit $500? Well, I'm not good at math. You can do that, and that's why we have a calculator on the iPhone. But BetUS is helping you all season long when it comes to betting on your favorite team, and we all know that's the Miami Dolphins. All you have to do is go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code Dolphins125 to get the best deposit bonus on the internet today. Miami made another trade for an offensive lineman, and this one, Greg Mancz. He went undrafted in 2015 out of Toledo. He did play 100% of snaps with the aforementioned Houston Texans in 2016 at the center position. He's best viewed as a versatile offensive lineman for the Dolphins, and I have to give Chris Grier credit. I like what he's doing. At least he's taking chances, and he's noticing that the offensive line needs to get better. You need to have a little bit more versatility, and maybe you're finding some guys stepping up throughout training camp, but I do like that he is at least noticing that he has to protect his current franchise quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. Looking at the offensive line right now, you have Austin Jackson, who looked great against the Falcons. You have Kinley at left guard and Dieter at center, Hunt at right guard, and James at right tackle. That is going to be your starting offensive line in week 1 against the New England Patriots. Knock on wood, if no injuries happen, right? I'm not even sure if Greg Mancz is going to make this team. I think he might, because he might be one of those guys that gets the added roster spot that Will Fuller, will leave behind, in terms of Will Fuller does not have to be on the 53-man roster for week 1 due to him having a suspension due to last season with the Houston Texans. We are mentioning the Houston Texans way too much on the show today. We got to stop, okay? But Will Fuller is not going to be on that 53-man roster. Maybe they keep an additional offensive lineman so that they can move into week 1, have another week to see who maybe, builds themselves up, asserts themselves, and gets that spot moving forward. But let me know your one-word reaction to the Mancz trade. I'm going to be honest with you. It's unsurprised. I do want to shout out Chris Grier one more time for the sheer fact that I think he's done an amazing job as the GM. I think y'all would say the same. I think Brian Flores has done a great job as the head coach. What this comes down to is he has put a lot of draft capital into the offensive line. Obviously, Austin Jackson was the most notable one with the first-round pick. But this is unsurprising, and I'm unsurprised by this just because, again, you are going to want to protect your Tua Tagovailoa asset at the quarterback position. And also, you went out and you got wide receivers this offseason in Jalen Waddle, as well as Will Fuller, who I previously mentioned, that you need that clear pocket for Tua to go downfield and get better in the pocket. He's done a great job of that in camp so far, has Tua, but the offensive line and finding guys, maybe even at the depth level, is important moving forward because an injury is bound to happen on that offensive line this season. Speaking of Tua, he's still QB1 for now, right after we talked about Deshaun Watson. But he will not be playing in preseason week 3. Joe Burrow will be playing for the Cincinnati Bengals as the Miami Dolphins close out their preseason slate against the Bengals up in the Queen City. Now, this is to be expected, right? Tua's looked good in preseason week 1 and 2. Typically, there's 4 preseason weeks. There's only 3 this year, but most of the starters, including Tua, will not be playing in preseason week 3. Now, why is that important? There's notable cut date coming up, which is the 53-man roster has to be set on August 31st. Now, there's going to be a surprise cut or two, I'm sure, in there, and I'm not even sure that the Dolphins are done making trades, right? In a previous video, I mentioned that maybe Jakeem Grant could be traded for another offensive lineman. I think that's out the window now with Mancz coming aboard for a late-round pick in terms of compensation from the Baltimore Ravens, right? But overall, I think when you look at this, there's going to be a surprise cut or two, but now your offensive line seems like it's setting itself up. But don't be surprised on that roster 53-man cut date if you see a Greg Little, which you just traded for, or a Greg Mancz cut. I would not, bet on it per se over at BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. But I would say that there will be a surprise cut or two. I'm just not sure who it is, but you're going to have your one-stop shop right here for Miami Dolphins news when it comes to that. We're going to have a video out minutes after the 53-man roster cut happens. All you have to do is hit that big red button right below me, subscribe to Miami Dolphins News Today to stay in the know, and maybe know a little bit more than your friends about the Miami Dolphins.